I can't tell.
You're live.
Okay. How to overcome fear and negative thoughts. So normally I get some beeping and I didn't get my beeping today, so I didn't know we were live. So how to overcome fear and negative thoughts when you've had injury, when you're during injury, illness, sickness, all those kind of things, disease. So a lot of it is mindset and of course listening to your body. So here I am, Andrea Schneider, with my friend Karen. Karen, tell us a little bit about you.
Hey, Andrea, glad to be here today. Karen Langston, holistic nutritionist and host and author of the Healthy Gut Advisors Weekend Intensive.
Excellent, Karen. And I know you just had a big webinar over the weekend, and I enjoyed it a lot, learned a lot about healthy gut, and I'd highly recommend it to our audience here, especially anyone who's kind of in the healthcare world and wants to be able to know more about the gut and how they can help other people have that healthy gut where about 70–80% of our immune system comes from our gut, right? Is that
Oh,
right?
yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So if you don't have that healthy tummy, and I'm not talking about how your tummy looks on the outside, what is going on in the inside as well, then the rest of your immune system and your life is kind of going to be off. But let's talk a little bit today about fear. And, we all have different fears. And some people have, we could look at interesting fears, but some are based on because someone gets sick or they get a bad diagnosis or they have an injury. So you want to talk today a little bit about how you could push yourself and have a bit of a different mindset and the thoughts and feelings that kind of could go on during these times, and how sometimes once you've had a diagnosis or an illness, like especially, I've had cancer and I know Karen's had, Karen, what have you had? What was your major?
Crohn's disease. Yep.
Karen's was Crohn's, so whatever you've had at the stage of life you're at, someone's had something. And so sometimes we go to the worst case situation. I know for me now, I'm 9 years outside of cancer. But especially in the beginning, any ache or pain or something, like right away my mind would go to, oh my gosh, I hope I don't have cancer again. And I know that's common. And I know I'm in some different Facebook groups. And sometimes I get emails from different ladies who read my book or different things that I put out. And that's common that we sometimes go to the worst case situation of, oh, it must be this again. So what would you say, Karen? What would you give as words of wisdom to someone who, instead of going to that worst case place, what could they do instead?
Sure. Well, believe it or not, Andrea, we're wired for the worst. Physiologically speaking, we are wired for the worst. And that's a coping mechanism so that we can run away from that situation. But our cells are forever listening to, what we're bringing into our body. So if we are always in fear, then we're telling ourselves to go into protective mode. So there's no advancement, there's no growth, and, to worry about survival. So it's really about trying to change that mindset. And one of the ways that we can change that mindset is visualization. And we'll get into that in just a little bit.
And I totally agree. And so one of the things that I've been working on, and it's practice. It's really practice, and it has to be like a daily commitment almost, maybe multiple times a day, to take yourself to a different mindset. And so if you can flip, so whatever the negative thought is that you're having of the worst case situation, and you could turn it to the best case. So what if, instead of having cancer again, I really just have an ache and pain in my leg or whatever it might be. And it's really just nothing, and it's very temporary, and it will go away, and tomorrow I'll feel better. Now, I always think too, you don't want to not take precautions, like if you really do have something. So if it's something persistent that doesn't go away after a few days, then you do need to maybe go to a doctor and get it checked, or be listening to what's going on with yourself and not let things progress to the point where they get so advanced that you've made yourself worse. But a lot of times it's just in our mind. And Karen's exactly right, like the positive affirmations, the positive reading, being around positive people, visualization. Tell us a little more about that, Karen.
Sure. So we have the power to change any situation within us just by visualization. So let's use example of you dealing with cancer, Andrea. So one of the things that some of the integrative hospitals that I've worked at and things that I've done in my own practice is just literally visualizing those cancer cells and these white blood cells coming along and just eating away that cancer. And that's huge.
And I like what you did with your hand like that. That's kind of like Miss Pac-Man from, those of us who remember Miss Pac-Man in the 80s, or so you could kind of think about the cancer as like those little dots, and then you're going in as the I don't even remember the little guys' names. Maybe someone else remembers them. Blinky, I remember Blinky. And you're Blinky or whoever you want to be your favorite Pac-Man character, and you're going in and eating away those bad cells or whatever it is that in your body that's kind of going amiss.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. That's a
yeah.
good, I like that. That's good. Yeah.
And then, focusing only on what you want. So if you don't want cancer, then don't focus on it. So focus on being healthy, focus on what it feels like to be healthy, to remember what it felt like to be healthy, to feel positive and good, and put yourself in a place like when I'm kind of having, say, a rough time or whatever, I visualize myself this peninsula and the beach in Puerto Vallarta when I got a massage, which probably wasn't the best massage I ever got in my life, but in my recollection, it was just because of the atmosphere and the breeze and, being out there in the middle of the ocean, basically. So, your mind is. We're having some technical difficulties. So, Karen, hopefully you're still there. I know it's not
Yeah, I'm still
broadcasting for a
here.
second.
I
Okay.
think it's funny that you joined the call, but you're already on it.
Yeah, I know. And I
It's
haven't
your
touched
other
anything.
stuff.
My hands are down here. So, we're working with technology here. So, what more do you have to say on that, Karen, about the mind and focus and all that?
I think I loved your analogy. A lot of times I will do visualizations with people. I actually have a program on that where each module we do a visualization. So I will have them walk through a forest and look for that beautiful warm rock and watch a hawk come down, and the hawk has a bubble, and so you put all of your fears, all of your worries, whatever it is, into that bubble and allow that bubble to just be taken away. We do the same visualization on the beach because, like you, I'm a big beach person too. So we walk along the beach and we just lay down in that warm sand and just allow all of our troubles and worries to go away, and then having them physically, or I should say visually, take them out and just up to the universe. Like I said, we're just wired to, to think the worst, but it just takes some practice to start thinking about the more positive ways. And one of the things that you said, Andrea, that was really powerful is, those affirmations and asking about what you want instead of what you don't want. But the biggest thing is that I find people do is they say, I don't want cancer, but
Mhm.
all you hear is cancer. So
Right.
instead, like you said, focus on the health aspect of it. So saying, I want health, I want balance, I want vitality. And that's how you change that mindset.
I agree with you. And so today I'm actually going to the beach in a few hours after we finish this because today is my 51st birthday and that's where I want to be, is celebrating at the beach. So I don't know if I'll lay on the sand because it's rained here for the past day and it might be kind of, I
Ew,
don't know, but I'll lay on my blanket on the sand and
there you go.
I'll work on that visualization that you were just talking about. And let us know when you are going to be doing that course again, because I think that's really powerful and that's really good. And that's something that I'm just really learning how to do, is the visualization. And I still, our mind is so strong and powerful, but I haven't been able to do that necessarily on my own. I was recently reading a book by a lady, I forgot her name now, Blair Bly, something like that. And I think she's deceased now, but she wrote this book like in the 1960s about the power of visualization. And it's really quite an interesting book. Maybe as you're talking, him, and I'll go grab it because I know where it is.
Does she do a mermaid visualization?
I don't think so, but keep talking
Oh.
for a second. I'll go grab the book. So
Oh, okay. Because
positive
there's
too,
another
Karen.
visualization by, and I don't remember who the author was, but it was when I first got introduced to it, and I thought, oh, this is like, a crock of loony bins. But basically, it's visualizing a mermaid inside all of your cells, and as she swims through, she's collecting up all of the bad cells and taking them, and she just slowly swims through, and then I believe she swims through the gastrointestinal tract, and then she finally just takes everything that's not good for you out of your body. So the mermaid's kind of powerful as too. And another thing that's really, really that I like to do is, I'm a big advocate of acupuncture. And when I get acupuncture done, because we're tapping into chi and we're trying to rebalance that chi, that is a phenomenal time to do visualizations, because it's like 100 times more powerful because you've already got all those chi points activated.
That makes sense too. And like I like acupuncture, but I actually like massage even better. So the same thing, like when I'm getting a massage, I don't go just for a foo-foo type massage of like feel good for the moment. I really want like a deeper tissue and, releasing some tension and hitting the pressure points. And I found a guy who's like very intuitive with my body and really knows, like, he'll know points that hurt before I do. But during that time, I really focus on my breathing and not necessarily visualization, but I'm going to try that. But that here's this book that I had mentioned, Adelaide Bry, Visualization Directing the Movies of Your Mind. And so I'd recommend this. It's an oldie but a goodie, if this is something that you want to work on. So basically the main points, like you're planning a movie in your head basically, and then you need to relax. You need to work on relaxing and breathing and then visualize it. So all these pieces, come together. And one of the things we've talked about breathing a lot of times, Karen and I, in our various videos, and it's so important. And if you're in this stressful mode of fear and upset and stuff, but if you focus on your breathing and you take some deep breaths, and if you need to find an app, there's a Breathe to Relax app. But when you breathe deeply, and maybe Karen could show us, the proper way of breathing, it's hard to still stay so upset and so fearful, and it really, really helps. And I wouldn't have known that until a couple of years ago when I really tried it, because we take breathing for granted. It's something we do unless you're on oxygen, right? So Karen, can you walk us through the proper way of breathing, please?
Sure, and I'm by far not an expert on it, but most of the times we're breathing from our chest, and you probably have just become aware of it, especially when you were just talking, Andrea. So we breathe from up here, but what we need to do is breathe right into that prana. We need to go into the belly, and so what you do is you take in this very deep, deep breath, and you breathe in through your nose, and you just fill up your belly, you fill up your chest, and then you hold it for a second. So, and you expand your stomach, and then you let it go out your mouth. And you literally, it's like you're draining it all the way down into the stomach. And so by the time you're done, it's like you can literally feel all of the air just coming out. And so when you breathe in, you're breathing in the oxygen, you're breathing in the good, and then you're breathing out all of the stress and worry and tension. So you're just breathing it right out, getting it out of your body. So there's many different techniques for it. There's many different books and that can teach you about breathing. Yoga is a great way of teaching yourself how to breathe. And it's also really good for helping you to relax as well and changing that mindset.
Right, and that's something that I'm focusing on right now, is getting back into yoga. I missed about 6 weeks, and I just started again last week. But you're right, because you're focusing on what the teacher's telling you, you're doing the moves, you're focusing on your breathing, so you can get out of your own mind and all the crap that's, the thoughts. Same thing like meditation. I tend to meditate better when I'm in a group setting, and I go to that now and then. But if I try to do it on my own, all these millions of thoughts, we probably have about 70,000 thoughts a day that go through our head. So if we could focus more and more on getting the positive thoughts into our head and pushing away those other crappy ones, we will just do so much better. And one of the things also, so I hope we've given you some good pointers today, a lot to think about. So maybe just try integrating a few of these into your life today and this week, and then make them a habit, like hopefully you brush your teeth every day, or the things that you do as a daily maintenance, right?
Write it on your mirror.
Yeah, right. Right, breathe or whatever. I stick posties on my mirrors, of different things.
I use the markers, the whiteboard markers, Andrea.
Oh.
Yeah, those are awesome. And I always have one right by my mirror. And if there's something, I'm trying to incorporate as a new habit, I write it on the mirror, affirmations on the mirror, and
That's
anything else. Yeah. And you just use the whiteboard markers. Avoid the red one. That one seems to be the hardest to get off the mirror, but the black works great.
Oh, I'll have to do a little test. I've got some markers right here. Yeah. And so, listen to your body, refocus on positive things, focus on your breathing, try meditation, try yoga. So these are different ways, techniques that we are using to get rid of fear, because we all have fear, right? Everyone has fear, Karen, is that correct?
Yep. We definitely need the fear.
Right.
It moves us, it motivates us.
It can, or it can paralyze you too.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
The idea is to not let fear paralyze you, which I know Karen and I, we've talked about, and there's been times, and we're human just like you, and there's times I wake up in the morning and I'm in fear, and I don't even know why. And I've got to push myself through that fear to make myself take action. And I find one of the best ways to get through fear is by taking action steps. So whatever you're afraid of doing, you just get in there and jump in and do some of it. What do you think, Karen?
Yeah, no, I agree 100%, Andrea.
Right. So I don't think we can ever completely be fearless. Maybe we can at moments, but it's pushing yourself through the fear, doing it anyway, even when you're afraid, and finding other positive people that you can talk to and relate to. Like, a year or so ago, I wouldn't have had this conversation with anyone. Karen and I, have developed a friendship. We know that we're kind of on the same page with this, and hopefully our viewers and listeners are into the kind of things that we're into, or you probably would have shut this off long ago. But it's about finding people who understand and that know that we're all trying to go through something to get to the next level of whatever it may be for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Very well said.
Thank you. Okay, so push through those fears. If you're sick, you're ill, you've got injury, listen to your body, but know that you can manage. You can take some preventive steps. You can take new steps, new actions, and focus on only what you want, the positive things. So, okay, we love you very much. Find us on Facebook, on our website. Go down below this video and you'll see our websites and how to contact me and Karen. So again, I'm Andrea Schneider, health and fitness expert, and you are Karen. And Karen's link information will be down below as well. So thank you very much.
Andrea,
Yes,
I just wanted to say, can you put the name of that book as well in the YouTube below? That'd be a great idea. And happy birthday to you as well.
Thank you, thank you. So I'm not so sure, how readily available this book is. It is old, but you could probably find something similar, or if, maybe even find that particular book. But it's good. Yeah. All right. Take care, Karen, and I will see you again soon.
Okay. See ya.
Bye.